what's Global Stew? What's doing with Global Stew?
It's a 2-year program that's basically about international development.
Yeah, sets us up to work for non-profit organizations like CETA, Greenpeace.
Yeah.
Free the Children. Yeah. And we do a lot of volunteering, local and overseas. And we take courses like geography and politics, and it basically just prepares us for working for NGOs.
Okay. So, what do you think of our electric vehicle?
Oh,
I think it's great.
it's great. It's very
innovative.
Yes.
It was such a great house. I didn't expect so many people here this evening. As was mentioned earlier, this is a partnership between the City of North Vancouver and the Capilano College, the CultureNet, and the Global Stewardship Program. The City of North Vancouver is 100 years old this year, and there's been a tremendous amount of change in those 100 years. That's probably one of the reasons why I'm here, because I really do believe in that whole idea of change and moving for the better. But before I just make a few remarks, I'd just like to recognize, is there any elected officials here this evening? Is there any? Just wave your hands. So we can tell jokes about other politicians? But I do want to recognize that we have some of our city staff here tonight. I know Suzanne Smith is here and a couple of other people. If they could just wave, our city staff are here. Suzanne's there, we've got 3, 4 here. So it is great to see the staff here, because the staff are the backbone of what happens at the City of North Vancouver. As I mentioned earlier, the city's 100 years old this year. And I remember as a kid, about 25 years ago, there's a chuckle down here. Yeah, I was a kid. I still am a kid, I guess. A funny thing happened. I was out in the backyard one day, and this truck drove up our gravel lane. And all of a sudden, up the back of it, it was dropping all of this oil. And it went along the lane and oiled the lanes to keep the dust down. And what it was used car oil that they had collected. And it was a tradition that a lot of the cities did. To keep the dust down the lanes, they would take this used oil and just spray it along the lanes and into the ditches, and to keep the dust down to sort of make a roadbed. Well, if we had done that today, it would be probably an environmental disaster. We'd cordon off the area, because we know now that oil gets into the ditches or the streets, creeks and streams, or goes into the storm water drains and gets into fish-bearing streams. And we probably couldn't figure out why the fish are always dying every summer when we oil these lanes. So we're trying to make sure that we do things in a more sustainable, a better way of doing things. And the City of North Vancouver certainly buys into that. And our staff certainly buy into that, and our council buys into that. We know that we have to change the way we do things at the city, and indeed what we do in the city affects everybody else on the planet. What is there, 6.6 billion people now? We have to realize that our individual actions have effects around the world, and so it starts by changing ourselves, which can be very difficult, as I found out the other day, because I'm a big creature of change, and I went to my local supermarket down here at Park and Tilford to get some groceries, and then I went down the aisles to get my soup and whatever it was, and it completely changed the whole layout of the store. And I was in shock. I had to stand and take a couple of deep breaths and realize it's going to take me a bit longer, but change is not an easy thing to do, is it? And I realized that even within me, change can be difficult. And the City of North Vancouver certainly wants to help people get through that process of change, and we believe it can be done for the better. And I brought up a copy of our official community plan, which is our sort of our guiding document, which is an amazing document actually for a book that's from a publication from a city. I strongly urge you, if you're thinking about getting into city planning and such, to have a look at that, because it is a great document. And in that, it sort of lays out how the city is going to sort of move forward in a more sustainable, more proactive way. And we do that in a number of different ways. We realize there is no silver bullet. There is no one thing we can do to make a big difference, but it's a lot of little things that all add up. And I just wanted to mention just a couple of things that the city is doing. And over here. We really do believe in compact communities and accessible, walkable neighborhoods, and which means
but he has shown concern for many other aspects of environmental issues as well. And certainly the way we factory farm is huge. He has talked about the areas of dead oceans at the mouths of some of our rivers that have taken agricultural fertilizers, and so there's major issues there. There are many issues, and I think he's focused primarily on global warming because that's really an Armageddon issue. But he definitely is concerned about the others. And of course, you know, as you increase your awareness of environmental issues, if one issue really gets your attention, you frequently become more sensitive to the others as well. So, you know, that's definitely a problem. Other questions? Yes.